Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today my heart swells a bit as I just, had to postpone a walk with my doggo. And I really wish humans could communicate better with dogs, since, when I say I'm gonna take him out later, like, he doesn't really notice the difference, right? Well, between that and saying let's go out. So he got really excited, and then I closed the door to record the intro on him, and he was just like staring at me with, the most sad face I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, that's kind of like the mood as I am recording this intro right now, and I think it's fitting because today I have lived long enough to see myself become the villain. Like Harvey Dent said, I am going to be playing Lee Sin, ladies and gentlemen. No, I have not been abducted. I am still me. But today we're going to play some Portal Kick. We're going to combine Zoe with Lee Sin as I'm going to showcase another top tier meta deck in this go hard environment, as I feel a deck like this is as good as it is because of the prevalence of go hard. And honestly, because Lee Sin never really stopped being good after the nerf. People thought that he was no longer like viable in the top tier status. But honestly, like, people who know how to play Lee Sin has always been relevant. Lee Sin was a big factor in the European Masters a couple of months back, as it started to really build up some very strong win rates towards the end of that tournament. And it's just really good. It's just because a deck is not extremely popular during a certain period of time doesn't mean it's not viable and it's not potentially one of the best decks out there, right? Like, this is a very good example that in Legends of Runeterra specifically, I mean, this happens in every card game, but in Legends of Runeterra, I notice it a lot. There is this big net decking cult, it's constantly happening. Like, what the top tier players and or streamers are playing is what everybody else will be playing as well. So even though there's no denying that Go Hard is the best deck in the meta right now, like, people did not start playing Lee Sin Zoe, and still certain players popularized it again. It's like 99% of the player base is just a bunch of, like, seagulls just like jumping at, the most popular shit. And you got 1% kind of like paving the path, right? And creating the meta in a way. And Lee Sin Zoe basically out of nowhere started seeing some usage in the ladder, and it got really popular, and it proved to be a contender for one of the top tier decks around, and will potentially be the best or one of the best once Go Hard gets nerfed. It depends on how Go Hard gets nerfed, and mostly, or more importantly rather, it depends on whether other stuff, how many other cards will be nerfed, right? And will any of them affect Lee Sin? If they don't, then this is going to be a powerhouse of a build, and I'm going to share it with you guys today. We have a total of 24 Targon cards and 16 Ionia cards, a Targon champion in Zoe, and the Ionian champion in Lee Sin. We have a very high spell density, surpassing our units, in fact, as we have a total of 23 spells out of our 40 cards. When it comes to the units, we have, like I mentioned, Zoe. We have Eye of the Dragon, absolutely crucial card in the archetype, especially a source of, like, the difference between living or dying versus aggressive decks. We have a full set of Mountain Goat as well, fantastic 2-drop that allows us to get a gem to utilize for our spell, slinging shenanigans. We got Sparkle Fly as a 2-of. Some decks run it as a 3-of. I think 2 is enough. This is a very good potential target for buffs, and also a very nice turn 2 into turn 3 play with Mentor of the Stones, who we are running as a full set. We got Zenith Blade because Lee Sin be doing Lee Sin things. We want to give Lee Sin Overwhelm, because when Lee Sin has Overwhelm, as he levels up and we Dragon's Rage the enemy that we challenge, we're going to be able to strike it once with our attack and hit the Nexus with our attack stat, and then, because we will have gotten rid of our blocker, the actual attack will connect, and because we have Overwhelm, we will be hitting our opponent for a second time into the Nexus with our attack, which means if we manage to get Lee Sin's attack up to 10, then we one-shot our opponent. That is why, no matter how balanced you try to make Lee Sin, because of his design, I think I've reached the conclusion that if Lee Sin is viable, he's gonna be toxic. At least he's gonna feel toxic to a good portion of the player base, because he's the champion that enables by far the most burst in the game. We are seeing the introduction of other champion designs like Riven, for example, which does kind of have a similar way of functioning, right? With like the ability to duplicate her attack stat, or her power stat really, the first time you buff her every turn when she's levels up. But Lee Sin is on another level in that sense. Like, Lee Sin is just a prime finisher. He is more expensive because of that, and his ability is also extremely useful in the mid to late game, as we have a lot of disruption here. We have a couple of notifies alongside a couple of denies and a one-off of Bastion. I do like a one-off of Bastion a lot. There's a lot of good utility that allows us to sponge and protect against the likes of Hush and Frostbites, amongst other things, and it can be used both proactively or reactively. Even though deny is very, very crucial, I do feel like 1 Bastion instead of 3 denies is ultimately better. But that's, of course, just my opinion, as the rest of the deck is very standard when it comes to Lee Sin stuff. Shoutouts to the one-off of Spell Thief. There's a lot of very neat things you can do with this card, and it's perhaps one of the most skill-intensive cards in the deck, as I also do like running a one-off of Sonic Wave. I don't run more because it is Lee Sin's signature spell, so we are able to play more than one, and only 1 copy of it is ultimately necessary. And yeah, that is the deck list right there. I have officially become everything that I hated, and I did so for the sake of entertainment and having you guys see some Lee Sin pro plays. I'm not the most experienced player, nor the best source for the champion, but I think I do all right with him. And hopefully you enjoy the games that I got for today. Some really diverse matchups and some really good stuff, honestly. Hopefully you guys think so as well. And that's where I'll leave this deck tech at. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Legends of Runeterra content. I do aim to post daily on this channel. Every single day I want to give you guys a new deck list. I am pretty busy with a bunch of stuff. I'm also going to be moving in like a month and a half as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but sometimes bear with me if I'm not super consistent, but I will be as much as I can, and hopefully you guys appreciate the content nonetheless. So yeah, love ya. Have a good one. Enjoy the games. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, here we go. I'm sorry. Just gonna start the video by saying that. I'm sorry. I know I failed many of you. My defense is that, eventually in life, as time passes, everybody becomes a hypocrite. It's just a matter of time. That's all I have to say on the matter. So, we are facing Grand Plaza Scouts, which means our deny... Hello? I meant to say... No. There we go. I don't like the fact that Zoe's emote is like really unpredictable. It's either hello or BM. It feels kind of polarizing. I don't mind Hush. I mean, I'm gonna keep the Hush and the Sonic Wave. The reason why I'm gonna keep the Hush is because it can be utilized to take down or to bypass a barrier. Something like a riposte can be countered for 2 mana, so that makes this card extremely valuable. That's a very good draw for us. That is an absolutely fantastic draw for us. We really, really, really needed a 2-drop there. And specifically the Eye of the Dragon, I couldn't have hoped for a better one, because I do want to drop the Mentor of the Stones.
Looking into the future, I see purple.
We may very well see Grand Plaza here. It found you. We're going to go for this attack right here. We're going to call that a turn. Turning our Eye of the Dragon to a 3/5, that's a big deal.
The ocean charts our course.
Mountain go.
This is our way.
I could Hush this, but I want to keep my options available here. I mean, to be fair, Hushing this, what can he do to it, right? Like, he can buff it, like, he can give something +2/+2, but I want to get rid of this elusive anyways.
The dragon binds us.
Yeah, there's this sharp sight. take this hit.
What is gained when you
Considering I have Sonic Wave, and I definitely do want to get rid of you.
I'll be damned. Nothing gets between me and my mark.
We'll find our enemies
Wherever they hide. Cool story, girl. I do want to give a gem to this so that I'm not vulnerable to an open attack with Valor next turn, as I will have my bird enabled, and I'm wondering if I want to develop Sparkle Fly, but I don't think I do. I also don't need to go for the Resonating Strike. I could have gone for it to gain more health, but I didn't want to...
Breathe out.
Like, I want to make as good a use of my mana as possible, right? So I can skip on that. Having this Dragon Link is very important. Naturally, if we do see something like a Misfortune, I may be inclined to hush it. Though I don't want to. Like, I really don't want to see a Misfortune right now. We've already dealt with one. It would be nice to take a bit of a breather from her.
I've got your back. Still heart, steady aim.
I could try to hush here.
You'll pay.
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the rules.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
I'm surprised attacking with this.
always forward.
I'm very surprised attacking with those.
Scouting ahead.
I'm too airborne. Beware the dragon spirit.
They could have a Relentless Pursuit. I don't think it's the end of the... It's the worst thing in the world, though. Like, I will take 7 damage, but... No, actually, they never mind. Like, they wouldn't be able to level up Quinn this round. We do have Deny, which is very important to keep enabled, I think. So, we gotta go triple gem. And since we're gonna be challenging you, in order to... Like... If they have a sharp sight, maybe we should be focusing all of our gems onto Zoe so that if they do have a sharp sight... Yeah. Then again, I'm not sure if that's the best.
Choose the right time.
I mean, triple gem onto this means that no matter who he uses sharp sight on, it will still be an even trade. Oh man, I'm gonna run out of... Oh, please. No. Come on. Come on. Enough with this stupidity. Come on. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
Center your speed.
Jesus Christ, dude. Ugh. I get really nervous whenever animations pop up. Riot, please. Please. For the love of God. For the love of all that's...
Soldiers, to me.
For the love of all that's worthy, please. God fucking damn it, dude. Please. Fix your goddamn timer.
Forgot how slow time moves.
Like, I swear to God. Yeah, it moves slow until you have animation, Zoe. Then it moves fucking turbo mode. I don't want to be vulnerable to a Relentless Pursuit. So I'm going to pass. Like, I want to keep that Deny at all times open. I can't believe I almost legit lost that game. Because if I pass over initiative there, it's so devastating. I can start chart into... I have a total of 11 mana, which means I can do this and still have Deny backup, so I'm super comfortable with this attack. That's the reason why Zoe's so good in this deck. I mean,
Get in the portal!
that changes things. How are you looking at it?
Time for another whooping.
We got the barrier in.
Fortune favors the bold. The ocean is no place for
Misfortune will be able to bop through my barrier, but that's all fine.
Shiny!
Yeah, I'm just gonna block with this like this.
Love ya.
Love ya. I want to keep my deny open. I don't want to resort to my Bastion. I want to keep my deny open. I want to use Bastion to enable my like a Lee Sin lethal next turn. This hand is perfect to finish off our opponent with. And yeah, no Lee Sin OTK. We slowly but surely like I don't think this particular game, you know, because this deck can be pretty toxic, right? When it gets like kills, like inevitable kills out of like full health, right? It can feel a little bit stupid in those senses. But I think this match is a fair showcase of Lee Sin. Like, you know, even though I've complained to all the stars about Lee Sin in the past, it's important to acknowledge when
Enter, traveler, and stop.
I'm gonna develop the Mentor of the Stones first.
Lady Crown Guard. An honor.
The honor is mine, Cithria.
And now we do this. We buff you. And we knock him out. Got him!
I thank you, dragon.
Arigato, dragon. Arigato gozaimasu. Alright. I never thought the day would come. I would upload a Lee Sin video. Alright. It's not the most toxic deck in the meta right now, so I'll take that. So, yeah, let's go for another one. Alright, round 2 against Riven Taric. It's sad when, like, the reality is, like, I'm sorry, but Draven is just better at pretty much anything. Like, the only thing that I see Riven, like, getting like better utility than Draven is perhaps in like a deck that's really centered around a Riven OTK, right? Maybe I'll try to like really specialize in that, you know, with elixirs of wrath and stuff, like to really make sure that you can one-shot your opponent with Riven. Because otherwise, when it comes to just like value and utility for these sorts of decks, like Draven's still better. I do like seeing this Lee Sin in my opening hand. I'm gonna drop everything else though, because I'm really looking forward to finding some early curve units. Like I said, Eye of the Dragon is so good in this deck. Like, there's a big difference if you draw Eye of the Dragon or if you don't, I think. She's even more valuable than like a Mountain Goat half of the time. Or most of the time. Yeah, I'm out of play.
The spirit gives.
We're facing a 2-1, which means Mountain Goat is really bad here. Unless we're able to... Is there any way we can generate... I would like to go for the Zenith Blade, honestly. I really like Zenith Blade onto Eye of the Dragon. Gets her to 5 health, which is super neat, and allows us to thin through our deck. Me too, kiddo. Me too.
Not all mean well.
Let's attack with the Eye of the Dragon.
Does he do this?
We're getting a block here, which is really interesting. I could go for the Pale Cascade. But I don't think we need to... I don't think we need to work for that as of yet. I'm gonna drop the Mountain Goat. Bah. Now that we've gotten rid of the 2-1, that was a very... Like, that was a big nuisance for this 2-drop, right? Like, having a 2 health... Okay, what if I go for a Zenith Blade here? I become a 4-4, which means that even if he does have something like a Pale Cascade... I can't combine this with my own Pale Cascade though, which is a problem. I do have Hush. I do have Hush. Which means I can get rid of this Taric. Which is really important.
Unyielding.
I'm gonna have to miss out on the card draw though, right? What if he has a... What if this man has like, this attack is very clever because if my opponent does have something like I may have to take this hit. Yeah, this attack is super clever. If he had pre-committed something like a Fail Cascade on this attack, I would have been able to hush him into my own Fail Cascade, but because he attacks like this, it forces me to buff my goat beforehand to deal with this, and if he has his own hush, then my hush back will not, you know, like, I'll still lose that trade. So I'm willing to use my health as a resource here to maintain the stability of my board, and I could go for another Zenith Blade, but I do like the Sparkle Fly. And I may as well use my, like, the problem is I can't Lee Sin into anything here. Like, I'd rather wait one turn to develop Lee Sin. Plus I need to get some spells rolling as well. I think it may be time for Zenith Blade. To gain a little bit, to gain as much health as possible. I'm gonna do this. Could get something like an Equinox amongst other things, so this is the moment to strike.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle fly.
The mountain endures.
Is that a hush? No hush? Beautiful. 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 We're also activating our Eye of the Dragon this turn, which means we got double lifesteal backup here. We have Awareness Chump Block his attacks.
Don't worry, I am here.
No matter what I do here, I need to keep my mana in the back. This is a strong, important attack. Next turn I'll have 7 mana, potentially 8 mana, which allows me to do that, and that. So I can only play Lee Sin this turn. I have to pass.
Never submit.
Could use an axe here. I get him to discard another Might just so he deals with this. This also activates my unit here. I am going to develop Zoe. I mean, next turn I'm going to have 7 mana. Still allows me to do several things, so I am going to develop Zoe. Because the reason why I went back on my Lee Sin plan is because I wasn't going to be able to level him up that turn.
Pleasure to see you, Master.
If I had not played Zoe, this Sonic Wave would have been really neat. What can I have? What can I get from him? He's played Might, he's played Valor, like, okay. So mostly...
Choose the right time.
Should I go for the Sonic Wave? I think I should. The Sonic Wave allows me to try to pick off Taric. No.
Look sharp.
Watch and learn.
Unyielding.
I fight with the dragon's fury. I will not hold back.
Zoe, what's your name?
I'm gonna block like this. I'm gonna apply Bastion. We know that's the third might because he discarded another might with the axe earlier. I should have assumed he had another might in hand as he discarded a might, you know, because otherwise this deck really relies on that card, right? So it's a very easy assumption and a very logical one to make, you know, that my opponent doesn't have it. But I didn't think about it in the moment.
Time for the moneymakers.
To preserve beauty and protect all life.
I mean, I guess he wanted to get rid of my Bastion in case he top decks like an answer for this. But survival skills did not work out there because that's also a reason, I didn't explain that, but that's also a reason why I decided to block, because the Draven is bigger, because he has more health. Yeah. Shut down, like that, those micro decisions actually really do go a long way. Even though I don't think it matters too much in this case because I'm gonna kill him anyways next turn. But yeah, just Lee Sin, you know, doing Lee Sin things. Nothing to see here. God, I don't know how much of this champion I can take, honestly. He's not my favorite. Spoilers. Alright, round 3. We got some really good variety when it comes to matchups today. No mirror matches, no go hard even. That's like really... I've been stomping go hard with this deck, by the way. But considering, you know, like I would be shocked if the card isn't like nerfed very, very soon. What does Hush do here? Hush does quite a bit, actually. I don't mind Deep Meditation. I'm gonna keep the hand like this. I do like the Mountain Goat. No turn 1 Zoe, but I do like the Pale Cascade and I do like the Hush. Whenever you face Tom, Kench, Soraka, it's not like the biggest threat is actually them beating you down. It's Star Spring, right? Which they do find on curve. I do want to develop another Mountain Goat because this opens up my ability to Pale Cascade here.
To heal and protect. You are better than this.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't necessarily feel like I have to
For silver I dug, for gold I cast it.
I bear a message from... Oh, hey, what's that?
The reason why I played the gem before I played Zoe's because now I have a guaranteed blocker against Soraka if he wishes to attack. As we work for Zoe's level up. Yeah. He's gonna be able to... I could Hush this now to prevent her from leveling up this turn and prevent some card draw.
The possibilities are infinite.
I do manage to prevent some card draw there.
Go no further.
Yeah, this Hush did not work out because I realized it's not I've seen, it's you've healed, right? I'm gonna attempt to
Oh, dizzy.
I will find the goodness.
we really are against the clock here.
Only provides temporary sustenance, child.
Yeah, they've had a pretty mighty curve and we haven't been able to find Lee Sin. Maybe I should have mulliganed more aggressively for that. I mean, I did keep a solid hand with the Mountain Go, but my opponent finding the 1-drop into this, because if they didn't have the 1-drop, wouldn't have been able to start getting much more damage on him. I really tried to bait this Soraka, but I just wasn't able to power through.
Fight with my spirit, not
I can
my
do this, and get a Dragon Link this turn. Like I said, I'm not worried about them attacking us. I'm worried about the Star Spring
breathe in.
getting us here. Like, we are running out of time. We do find Lee Sin though. That's very important. Very, very important. But we need to if they play things right though.
Oh, I'll be happy to accommodate, Pablo.
I mean, I have to pinpoint all of these to Lee Sin, right? So if I play Lee Sin, first of all, can I survive? Is there any way that I can set up a win here? I need to play Lee Sin at the end of next turn, I think. Because, okay, next turn I have 7. I'm going to have 9 mana, which means I do have the ability to do this. But I can't do that and give him Overwhelm. I just can't do that. So I have the preemptive Bastion. So I have to survive 2 more turns, basically. We do find the Zenith Blade. And we will go for the Concussive Palm here. Put it mine.
On in. Appetizers of plenty.
I just don't think we can.
Live with purpose.
17.
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
I need to find a way to make it out of this. Ah, that shakedown.
Feast awaits.
Be at peace.
That's shakedown. That's bad.
Let's reconnoiter.
Should have stayed home, pal.
Take heart. Live with purpose.
19. If they have any sort of health gain, yeah. Because I could apply Bastion onto that to try to kill that.
Beware the dragon spirit.
Yeah, it's GG. Good game. Yeah, they got a pretty sick curve.
The dragon.
Like I said, I don't think I did anything wrong. I could have mulliganed differently for sure, but that's a very, you know, it's 2 very polarizing decks, right, going at it. I do believe that if we manage to like I said, get a little bit, we just needed 1 more turn. Like, that Star Spring got in too early, but if we had 1 more turn, we could kill him from that point. You know, if I managed to develop Lee Sin and give him Overwhelm. But it was also very tricky because they had everything. They had the 1-drop, the Star Spring, the Soraka into Tom Kench on curve. And when Tom Kench Soraka has that sort of curve, if the player is competent, it's difficult to navigate around that, especially if you're running a region combination that doesn't really have proper landmark removal. Like that's one of the things. That's why some people like struggle with archetypes like that. Like, you know, they think they say they don't enjoy facing them. It's because, you know, landmarks are very, very binary, right? And it feels kind of bad knowing, you know, what they're gonna do, but not really having any tools in your deck, because, you know, incorporating those tools in your deck would, like, there's no reason for me to play, you know, first of all, like, Ionia has no landmark removal, which I think is a problem, but yeah, not gonna complain too much, not gonna defend Lee Sin here too much, not gonna get carried away with that. Let's have one final game and see if we can redeem ourselves a bit. All right, like I was saying, man, like all sorts of different matchups, and this is one that I am very fond of. Against any sort of matchup against Shadow Owl's base control is really, really neat. I do like the Bastion, honestly, and I don't mind the Mentor of the Stones either. I'm gonna mulligan away these two. I'm gonna make sure I keep my units though, because I want to make sure that I can actually apply pressure, right? So Mentor of the Stones is really nice to keep, especially drawing into a Notify to counter a potential Vile Feast. There's your boy as well.
I fight with my spirit, not my fists.
Good luck with that, kiddo. Like every time, most of the time when I see like any sort of like voice or yeah, any sort of like message that message. What do you call it? Like voice line, like card voice lines, like any sort of card voice lines here. I mean, I could just pass here, make them, because what's gonna happen? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna make them burn all that mana. I think they have a Catalyst of Aeons, clearly. So now, especially now that I've drawn a Mentor of the Stones and with Notify backup, if my opponent does dare to go for a Catalyst of Aeons now, that's interesting. What if he has a What if he has a Withering Whale? I can't really afford to play into a Withering Whale, but I really want to develop this this Mentor of the Stones, but it's too risky, right? I'm gonna do this. Man, really? Avalanche? Wow. Wow. Do I want to go for the... How much damage? This is 5 damage. Is there any threat in like developing Lee Sin? Is there any problem in developing Lee Sin? I mean, the problem is they could have a Vengeance, right? I think this is okay. This is alright. It's a bit of a late.
Force is meaningless without.
I want to play Lee Sin
Pleasure to see you, master.
because if my opponent does have access to like a Ruination here, like first of all, I'm Ionia, so I really doubt.
The trolls are going to war.
I'm gonna play Zenith Blade here. I have Bastion. Bastion with Notify backup as well, which is really neat. I kind of want to just play...
Enter, traveler.
And stop staring! Yeah, I'm just gonna capitalize on this man as much as I can. I'm gonna try to get a really clean hit here. Okay, so I have a total of 9 mana, which allows me to do all this. So I'm gonna do this.
It's always cold in the Freljord. You're in my kingdom now. No, prepare yourself. Choose the right time to strike. Go, floaty crystals. No. Go, floaty your spirit.
I'm gonna go with this. I don't want to go for a proactive Bastion. I want to wait for them to, like, they could have a harsh winds, but that's fine. Like, I'll go for a proactive Bastion when I actually want to kill my opponent. Because otherwise, a flash freeze, that's alright. I'm gonna let my Lee Sin take all this damage. I have, with double concussive palm, I can protect him from a bunch of shit. And I can go for... Honestly, I can just go for this. I'm gonna buff my butterfly here. This way I have another win condition.
Turn malevolence.
And
This is gonna be fun. Conflict is all in the mind.
I'm gonna go for a Nopify. And now we go for the Bastion. Perfect.
The dragon spirit awakens.
Beautiful. We managed to knock out Tryndamere. We weakened that, and we're going in. We're going in, ladies and gentlemen.
Breathe in, breathe out.
For a motherfucking attack of our lives.
Steel power.
And we knock him out. Got him, baby! Oh.
I thank you, dragon.
Again, arigato. Hashtag arigato, dragon. That's the premise of today's video. Oh, weep forever. Alright, so yeah, that does for a video. 4 games. We got some really diverse matchups, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with my play today. And I'm happy with all the different sorts of champion lineups that we went up against. Basically what I just said. Big fan. Big fan of today's live, even though it was like a big fan of Elisa live. What happened to me? Maybe this is 2021 Mogwai, you know? The Antichrist. Alright, I'm gonna end it there. Have a swell day. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content, or you know, whenever I can upload, because I can't promise daily every time and then miss an upload every now and then, right? So yeah, love ya. Have a swell day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around.